Welcome to the Fearlessly Authentic Sash and Soul podcast, the show that goes beyond the stage, prioritizing a healthy mindset, overall well-being, and triumphs in the pageant journey. In each episode, we dive into the transformative power of embracing authenticity fearlessly.
From mindset mastery and self-care strategies to success stories that inspire, this podcast is your go-to guide for navigating the pageant world with confidence and resilience. Join us as we embark on a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and celebrate the stories of those who fearlessly embraced their authenticity on the path to pageant success. I'm Lila Sherry.
And I'm Rayanna Johnson. Welcome to Sash and Soul. Hi, you guys.
You should see us right now. We're like,
So
we've
excited.
never cheesed so hard.
It's like, okay, I'm going to hit record. You guys, my stomach flipped. I'm so excited. It's a big day. It's a really big day. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm going to cry. Okay. Really excited. This episode is going to be, oh my gosh,
An
just
announcement.
kind of a pivotal moment for Fearlessly Authentic, for me as a coach, and for Lila as well. So I think without further ado, Lila, you have an announcement to make.
I'm coaching. It's official. It's happening.
It's official. Oh, you guys, co-coach in Fearlessly Authentic officially. I've had guest coaches before and I love them, but Lila is coming on as a full-time coach in Fearlessly
Full-time.
Authentic. This is such a pivotal moment for me because I set out when I created, if you've been in my program, I do this vision video thing. And my vision video for Fearlessly Authentic had former clients will be part of the coaching team. And it's coming to fruition right now. I'm losing my mind. I'm so excited. So let's dive into it. Let's learn more about Coach Lila.
Hi. This is so crazy. I'm getting really excited about this because I think to some people this is out of nowhere, but to many others, they also know that I've been coaching for 4 years now, just on the side as something that I love to do. Mentoring comes very naturally to me. And so this to me is a very natural next step, especially after rounding out this 10-year competition career. So why am I doing it? It fills my cup. It makes me happy to see girls that I see myself in a lot of ways, those younger, developing, wanting to grow. And it makes me really excited because I loved competing, but I love mentoring and coaching even more. And I didn't think I would ever get to this point, but it is so cool to find also a program that feels right, because I didn't want to just be another pageant coach. And we'll talk about that because we're not pageant coaches. But at the same time, the women that we're working with in this program, I feel like my brain is moving so fast. I don't even know what to say. I'm just really excited. So what do I even say?
Sorry, I was going to jump in.
Okay, I need to calm down.
Okay, Lila, when did I first present this potential option of you joining my team?
I think it was right after Miss America, or about a month after Miss America.
I think it was. And I think we were having a conversation. You said, I think I love the mentorship opportunities as Miss Wisconsin more than anything else. And you talked about how you felt like in so many ways you were supporting your class and the women that you were competing with. And of course, you're all supporting one another. That's part of the sisterhood. But I remember you talking so passionately about how much that gave you purpose and joy. And I think it was then that I was like, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I've been thinking for a very, very long time now and wondering if you might be interested in coaching with me. And your reaction was so great. You lost your mind.
It's crazy because this was always something that I knew I could do on my own, and I have been doing on my own for 4 years on the side, like we talked about, but it's something really different when you have essentially a partner or somebody that you're able to bounce ideas off of and talk things through. And you're in a lot of ways still my mentor in coaching too, right? Like I think one of the most important things that coaches or teachers or professors can do is have their own people that they're going to continually get better. And I never want to be stagnant in my coaching, and I never want to be stagnant in my mentorship. And I always want to be growing, because otherwise my clients aren't growing with me. So I also think it's really important that I have somebody that is mentoring me as a coach too, especially with this program specifically, because it is a little bit different than what I have been doing in the past. So
We're going to continue that, receiving that mentorship. So growth mindset is huge for me as well. And so I've talked about having my own coaches. Obviously, I see a therapist. So I'm just always interested in my own personal and professional growth. And I've poured that value into Fearlessly Authentic as well. And we're going to talk a lot more about the growth of this program and some of the new things that are rolling out. In addition to Lila coaching, we have some other fun announcements as well today. But this is kind of the start of what I hope to be a coaching coaches program, because part of my mission behind Fearlessly Authentic was to start changing how we empower women in not only pageantry, but like in general. Like, and we'll talk too about how, like Lila said, we are not pageant coaches. So what does that mean? What does that look like? And we're going to dive into that too. But I'm excited to really be starting the trickle down effect, because I'm just one person. There's only so many clients that I can have. So to bring on you as a coach and other guest coaches for like the mastermind program and things like that is just pouring more value and more insight. And I don't know everything. And I think that's why we love this podcast and doing it so much. And the feedback that we've received is because we bounce off of each other so well. We have two completely different life experiences, but we bring value to the table through our vulnerability and our transparency. And you're going to do that as a coach in this program too, in ways that I can't. And so I'm just really thrilled to bring you on board to do that. So I want to know what your coaching is going to look like. We are going to get into the Fearlessly Authentic program, and we're going to talk about the fundamentals that you will be coaching based off of. But you have a unique subset of expertise as well. You already talked about how you've been competing for 10 years. You just finished up a state title with Miss Wisconsin. You've competed at a national level, and you've been mentoring and coaching for 4 years already. What is it that you bring to the table as a coach, and what types of clients do you want to be working with based off of your expertise?
I want my clients to want to grow, whatever that looks like for them. Because to me, it's not about winning a competition. I know that that's a lot of people's goals at the end of the day, but to me, it's seeing the growth that you have going from not wanting to step foot on stage. And I don't mean just in a competition, but maybe you're giving a speech in a classroom. I've had clients who cannot present in class no matter what. And within 6 months, they're up there and their teachers are asking, what did you do and how did you do this? That is the stuff that really fills me up, because it is not about a crown. I don't care about that. I don't care about the sashes. It's about the fact that there are women, young women in this world specifically, that need to learn communication skills to be able to get the jobs that they want, to be able to build programs, organizations, talk to people, talk to their bosses, negotiate salary and pay. Like, that is the stuff that is important to me. And the women that want to grow in ways outside of competition is who I'm excited to work with. You know where you want to go and what your goals are. My hope is that you know where you want to go and where you want your goals, to end up, or what you want your life to look like. And I will help you get there. I'm your GPS. I don't want it more than you. I'm here for you, and I'm a part of your support system, and I'm your GPS, like we always say. So you tell me where you want to be, where you want to go, and what your goals are, and I'll help you get there.
You'll also elevate them, which is what I love about your mentorship as well. And it's so similar to mine, where you may have a client come to you and like, these are the goals. And well, why aren't your goals? Why are you setting the bar there and not higher? And so often that's a mindset thing, that's a confidence thing. And so actually being able to help your clients see what their actual potential is really powerful. And that's so fun for me. And that's what I've experienced for 3 years now as a coach, is being able to talk to to potential clients in just a consultation. And I always ask, like, what are your goals? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to reaching this goal? And when I see someone with a 7 or 8, I always ask, why? Why just a 7 or 8? Well, because I've never actually made it to that level before, and I just don't want to set myself up for disappointments and all these things. And those are red flags for limiting beliefs and mindset glitches right there and just lacking confidence. And that's why we say, look, if this is your goal, set it. Let's focus on why that's your goal, why this is important to you. And then we're going to work together on how to get there. What's the course going to look like? And you know how GPS will reroute you when you're off track or when you need to take a pit stop for a potty break or a snack or to refuel? Like the GPS will always reroute you back on the track. And you can also change your goal and we'll just reroute then too. Like, oh, so you don't want to go to Dallas. Now you want to go to San Francisco. Okay, we'll reroute. That's great. So I love that too. And I think one of the values that you're bringing in now as a coach is that you have been through Fearlessly Authentic for 2 years now.
Mm.
And you've coached with me on the level of preparing for a state competition. You've coached with me on the level of competing for Miss America. And then after that, you received a lot of mentorship with me for just being a state title holder as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of value that you're bringing from your lived experience and from the lessons learned along the way and just the really beautiful conversations that we've had together too.
Yeah. I'm also excited because after competing in 5+ different systems and a lot of the big ones, Miss Earth, UNM, National American Miss, um, Teen USA, I did, there's a lot of insight that I've gotten from seeing a lot of those systems on the back end that I'm just excited to provide that insight. And back to that potential thing, I'm going to push you because I don't believe your potential ever ends. The fact that I have a client going on 5 years now, I think is a big indicator that we will find more. We will find more. You don't cap anywhere. You don't cap in a certain system. I really just I do not believe that anybody's potential ever caps. And so I will I will push you because I believe in you. And I believe that you have the power and the capabilities to make all of these things happen for yourself with that support and that guidance that you need. So, with that being said, I'm sure we'll talk more and again, you will see this on social media and it will be more condensed in all of the credentials and things like that. But let's get into like the types of coaching that we're really doing because we talk a lot on this podcast and you can see the values simply because of what we talk about on this podcast. But I think it's important for us to really go through the values of what we do and why we do what we do and to reemphasize that. So let's get into that.
Yeah, let's start with all about Fearlessly Authentic. And before we started recording, I was like, man, have we really ever talked in depth about Fearlessly Authentic and what it actually is? And I don't think that we have. So this episode 19 feels like kind of perfect timing to be discussing this, especially with the announcement of Lila joining the team as well. So there are three really important tenets of the Fearlessly Authentic program that I stick to like crazy. Mindset, obviously, you hear us talk about mindset all the time. Communication skills and community service, community involvement. Those are the three main tenets of Fearlessly Authentic. And here's how it all started. So a few years ago, I had gone through a pretty devastating experience in my life. I quit my job without a backup plan. Fortunately, at the time, he was my boyfriend, then became my fiance later, and now he's my husband. But back then, we owned this house together, and we had enough equity in the house that we were able to kind of take out a short-term loan from that, so that I can, you know, do whatever I needed to get healthy. And in that off time, I was so lost and my mental health was shattered. I was actually hospitalized for about 5 days for mental health, which was traumatic, but also a really significant healing experience for me. And I, at this point, am now pretty open, but back then it was like just my husband and I, and my therapist knew about it. And it took some time for me to be able to talk about it. But um, I spent months healing. And then I had a friend who was like, well, what are you going to do next? I don't know. I want to do public speaking. I want maybe I'll start coaching. But I'm afraid of this, that, and the other thing. Like I had all these limiting beliefs. And she's like, dude, just do it. Just literally reach out to people tomorrow that you might want to coach and get started. It just takes some messy action. And so I did. And then I really was just going to do interview coaching. That's all I really wanted to do. I loved interviews. So I was like, I'm going to be a communication coach. I'm going to coach on public speaking. I'm going to coach on interview. I'm going to coach on onstage question. Obviously, I was really targeting pageant women because that was the industry that I knew the most at the time and felt the most confident in. But as I started coaching, I started to realize very quickly that the mindset glitches and the limiting beliefs were actually getting in the way of really solid communication skills. Because when you're in your head and you're insecure about things, you can't articulate as clearly as you'd like to. Think about the difference between talking with your best friend and just having a happy go lucky conversation and things are flowing really easily and you're bouncing off of one another and it's just really fun. And then the other times when you are talking to someone that's really intimidating to you and you've got all these insecurities and you feel like you sound like an idiot when you're talking, like there's just a big difference. And so if we can work through those mindset glitches, the limiting beliefs, the insecurities, the worrying about what other people think, all these things that fall under mindset, all of a sudden communication skills start to evolve and to grow and to progress very quickly. And then your mindset also gets better at the same time. You build more confidence as your communication skills grow. And then the other thing that I really focused on because I value it so much was the community service aspect. If you haven't heard the episode on service initiatives and building a platform, I suggest you go back to listen to that because I talk about how my platform and service work evolved through my competition years and how it actually helped me in my career as well before I left mental health development and started my coaching program. All of the work that I had done was all centered in community service and all of the things that that entails. So those are the three tenets of the program. And what's so fun is that they just continue to grow. So the program now has an option for fearlessly authentic fundamentals, which is really ideal for those that might just be starting off or really want some of those basic skills of mindset communication and building their platform. And now we also have advanced programming as well, because I've had clients that come back year after year and through our conversations, we dive in deeper to their needs and I build more programming based off of that. So it's been a really, really fun 3 years of growth. And so Lila and I are going to chat a little bit more about like, what does it actually mean? What are these three tenets actually inclusive of? So mindset, communication skills, and community service. We kind of outlined everything that falls under those three things. So you have a better idea of what we actually mean when we say those things, that it's not just buzzwords.
Should we just run through them? I think that we don't really have to explain them, but to give you an overview. And this is not, and I want to emphasize this now, this is not an episode where we're laying out all this stuff to try and be salespeople to you. This is really our goal is to show you where you could get this type of help if that's what you're looking for. Know what kind of help, if you don't know where to start, what might be beneficial to you. Because and I wanted to say this too in the beginning and I didn't get there, but I wish that I had this when I was in my most formative years. And that's why I'm starting all of this. And this is really the main reason why I want to do all of this is that this is me giving back in a way that I wish I didn't have. I got the walking coaching. I got a lot of the wardrobe consulting. I got like the basics in interview, and I felt like I was missing something. So if that feels like you, if it feels like you've been competing, you get it, you understand the systems, you know what it looks like to, be successful in something, but you just feel like you're missing something or you don't know what you're missing, that's the value that we want to bring in this episode. We're not trying to pitch you or be salesy because this podcast really, that's not what it's about. But I want to emphasize that, again, this is what I wish that I had the 8, 9 years that I was competing before I got to Miss America. So again, emphasizing that before we get into all of this, that this is supposed to be of value to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so much of the foundational skills in my programming actually stems from the first couple of years that I was competing and didn't actually have a coach. I just had really incredible directors and volunteers and people in my circle that were building me up and helping me gain and understand some of these skills. And then I leveled up with a coach specifically for interview. And the skills that I gained were impactful, like essential for my success in pageantry. And I had some of those basic mindset skills through that coach as well. I've taken it and elevated it through my mental health experiences. And so we pour that into Sash and Soul because we want all of you to have that resource. We're going to talk about other free resources later through Fearlessly Authentic as well. But just to echo what Lila said, like this is just really a helpful outline for you so that you can advocate for yourself and what you need to be successful in all aspects of your life. So that
Yes.
said, let's dive in. The list under mindset. So when we say mindset work, we are talking about confidence being one of the main components, but even that feels a little bit vague. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. What else do we have, Lila?
Limiting beliefs. I didn't even know what that was before I came to you. So I'm excited to talk to people about limiting beliefs. It's the first thing of everything in life. Self-awareness, overcoming comparison is a big one. I think we compare ourselves subconsciously. We don't even know when we're doing it. This is another big one that I've talked to a lot of moms about that talk about their daughters. Fear of failure and fear of success is huge, especially for women in this day and age. This all feeds into your onstage performance. It could be onstage question. It could be how you feel walking in an evening gown. Developing your opinions and developing self-awareness on where you see yourself in the world, how you see the world, and then how you see yourself in relation to that world. It's kind of psychological. Finding joy in competing, and with that, finding balance in your life, finding self-care, finding that well-being throughout competition. We're not sacrificing ourselves for any goal. We come first. And then worthiness, feeling that you are capable of the goals that you want to achieve. Sometimes we dream really big, but they shouldn't stay as dreams. We are worthy of those, and they're there for a reason. So, mindset in a nutshell. It's a long list, but it is all encompassing and it all weaves into each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that I wanted to add to that was all of this is going to help you feel your worth and recognize your worth and protect yourself and your value. And I know something we haven't really talked about on the podcast, but I want to bring on some experts to talk about is body image. And when your mindset around the way that you look
Mm.
is off, that's also something that's going to get in the way of you truly being yourself and enjoying the process. And I can speak from experience having my own body image issues as well. That's a huge component here. And once you get to a point where you feel good about yourself and you prioritize that self-care and your own balance and well-being, everything else kind of starts to fall in line too, in terms of just how you see yourself in general.
Next pillar, communication. I'll have
Mhm.
you take this one.
Yeah. So communication has, so when I think when you hear communication coaching, you think interview, on-stage question, and public speaking, which truly is like the basics of it. But in Fearlessly Authentic, we have gone so much deeper. Well, we also include paperwork and any essays that you need to write as well. That's all part of that's written communication. So that's part of it. But we go so much deeper into not just those like skill-based things, but other skills like interpersonal skills, conflict resolution, um, censorship and diplomacy. This is something Lila and I have had a lot of one-on-one conversations about lately. Like, yes, we censor ourselves, but that doesn't mean we're silencing ourselves. There's a difference. And censorship for us looks a lot more diplomatic. It looks a lot more like we want to get our messages across in the clearest, most professional way that we can, while also being authentic, but not risking our own reputations by behaving some sort of way.
Yeah,
Um,
professionalism is a big keyword for me through all of this. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, and something that I'm really excited that Lila is really adding more value into the program with is media literacy and social media. Those are two really big focus areas that I consistently hear my clients wanting to learn more about and get better at, especially social media. So, really excited for her to be offering her expertise. But communication skills all around is it's very all encompassing of any time that you are communicating with someone outside of yourself, whether that's written or verbal or online.
And nonverbal. I think we might have forgotten about that one too, is your nonverbal communication and how this kind of comes from mindset because, this all intertwines and we'll say it a million times, but that nonverbal communication when you walk into a room before you even say anything is also huge. And that's something that we talk about a lot too. So all of the forms of communication, and we have that communication background and degrees and all of that. So excited.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the last pillar that we have is service. I'm going to let you talk about this one too, especially because this was also your episode and it was a great episode. So, what is service and what do we mean by that?
Right. So, service for many of you is going to look like platform development or initiative development. And in a nutshell, that's essentially what this is. But I think any title that you're holding, you are serving your community. So, it can look like choosing some type of a platform that you or a topic that you really want to promote during your year of service, or just in general, like throughout your life. Like, what are you passionate about, and how do you want to influence the world with that particular passion? We work on talking points. We work on fundraising and developing, a sponsorship program of how to solicit sponsors and maintain sponsors. That's a heavy topic in general. That's not just community service. That's also just your work as a title holder to promote the organization that you serve and bringing on board more of that funding and support. Partnerships and collaborations. I love talking about partnerships and collaborations with other organizations because one of my favorite lessons that I learned is that I'm just one person and I really couldn't do it all by myself. And I also loved the lesson of don't reinvent the wheel. Like if someone else out there is already doing this, see how you can support that effort and see what value you can bring. I think that also just shows to anyone, whether it's a future employer that you are talking to in an interview or the judges at your next pageant competition, when you can talk about partnerships and collaboration, that shows really essential leadership skills. And it shows that you understand that time is limited. And the more we work together on things, the more we can get done. And then finally, developing a business plan with a clear cut timeline. And then also understanding that that business plan can shift and it can change. And we're all right with that too. But having that outline of everything that we want to accomplish, when and how and why is really important. So yeah,
Ooh,
that's service in a nutshell. Yes.
one more thing to add because I'm going to plug that social media because that's where my brain goes. So many women ask us, how do they promote their service initiatives or platforms on social media ideas, and how to kind of go about it, where, how, what they should be posting. So that's kind of been a newer conversation this past year, at least to me, but I wanted to include that as well because that is something that we have chatted about a lot with the girls.
And how to have fun with it and do a unique initiative, like online.
Presence.
Yeah, how to have a unique online presence, I think is that I've had so much fun with clients just brainstorming crazy, wacky ideas. And what I love about developing service initiatives and the social media aspect of it with my clients is when we find something that can be unique to them, that's a little bit new, that's a little bit different, that they can actually have fun with. Because what I hate seeing is when girls are burning out because they are just grinding their gears and spinning their wheels. There it is. Um, because they feel like they're supposed to be doing all of these things when in actuality, do less, but do it better. Like do it
Mm,
very well. And so I have a lot of fun with that in my program.
yeah, efficiency is important to us because it helps you.
Balance, right?
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about what fearlessly authentic is not.
Mm. We said it before and we'll say it again. We're not a pageant coach. I think people don't see the fact that you have clients, and I've had people reach out to me that have nothing to do with the pageant world. I really want you to share this story because I got goosebumps when you shared this story with me. But one of your clients completely outside of pageantry, an organization or a business owner, I'm just gonna let you take this
Yeah.
away because this is really telling, you guys, and this is why we really don't care about pageant outcomes or results or sashes or crowns.
Right.
This is why.
Right. I'm very, very intentional about never referring to myself as a pageant coach because I'm just not. I am a mindset and communication coach, otherwise maybe known as a life coach, but I specifically focus in those areas. And one of my clients, oh, it was so great. She was an executive director of a nonprofit that supported women and families and young children and unexpected pregnancies or expected pregnancies. Like they just provided resources. It was not Planned Parenthood. They did not like promote pro-choice or pro-life. They were very neutral, really not politically involved, just wanted to offer support. And they were going through a branding change. And she had reached out to me to see if I could help with some messaging and with her interview skills for media interviews because she was expected to do a lot of that. And we worked together for, man, a few months, I think. And we had a lot of growth. It was really fun to actually see her media interviews and see her success and then to hear her feedback about that and like how she really actually enjoyed it. Because when she came to me, it was a lot of like, I feel like I ramble, I get a little bit nervous that I'm going to forget something. I feel like I don't really have clear talking points about what I need to say and what I'm saying. And so we really worked through a lot of the talking points about what the organization is, staying focused on the solutions that they provide and steering clear of any of the negative feedback, but also like clarifying what they do. Because they received some negative feedback thinking that they were Planned Parenthood and offer abortion services when they don't. So just really trying to articulate clearly what they do. And what we added to a lot of her talking points was what they need, what support they actually need from the community and how the community could come and serve and help and support their mission. And what was crazy was they were doing this grand relaunch of the program and of the brand. And it happened the day after Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so she had crazy amounts of media interviews about it. And she actually had other executive directors and other program leaders from other programs reaching out to her asking for advice as to how to approach some of these interviews and how to talk about what was going on. And she was like, I could not have done it without the mindset. We poured a lot of mindset work into it too, not just the interview skills and talking points, but without the mindset work and without clearly articulating what and why we talk about the things that we do. So that was one of my favorite outside of pageant victories. And I mean, there's more, but we don't talk about them as much on Sash and Soul because we are so
We
focused on the
don't.
pageant industry. But this
Yeah.
is why we say, like, I am not a pageant coach. My victories personally are when I see my clients succeeding in all areas. It's the little wins and the little victories along the way that like our program is not about pageant coaching because our success as a program is not tied to any kind of outcome of winning a crown.
And that's why you really don't see posts of girls placing XYZ in whatever competition. Like I might post it on my personal page because I'm taking a picture with somebody or whatever, but we're not promoting like the actual placement of things or relating these placement of things to us specifically. Like we don't take ownership of your wins either. We were part of the team that was cheering you on. So yeah, it's weird because social media is very much like if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. And I think that's kind of the biggest difference between when we say we're not a pageant coach, like we're not going to be posting pageant girls and their wins when that's not how we market ourselves. So you'll see that difference. I think now that we kind of pointed it out is that you will see pageant coaches, posting the girls that got top 15, the girls that got into top 5 and like their list and their whatever, because if that's how they measure their success, great. And that's just not really how we go about it because I've had I've had business owners reach out and say that they've shared episodes of ours in business meetings and things like that. So it's just we cater to a wide array of audiences, college kids looking for helps with essays or college interviews, right? Like it's just It's about a lot more than that. We just so happen to have a lot of pageant clients because a lot of the women that want to grow in this way happen to also do this. So,
The legal name of my company is Legacy Presentations. My coaching program is Fearlessly Authentic. So I launched Legacy Presentations with the idea of serving a wide array of women from different backgrounds, not just pageant clientele. It's just a niche market, which makes sense. I want to clarify too that it's not that we're not excited for our clients when they reach their goals, but like Lila said, we were just one small part in that. We call ourselves the GPS and we help with the routing to get there, but we didn't build the car. Like we didn't supply the fuel. Like all of the little pit stops along the way, like that really had nothing to do with us. It just doesn't make sense for us to take any kind of ownership of that outcome. I am so excited for my clients when they achieve their goals, whether that's winning or placing or receiving an award. I am so excited for them, but I have a personal relationship with all of my clients. They hear from me and they know, like, they don't need me to post publicly to know that I'm proud of them. And I have to say, I have had arguments, maybe not arguments, disagreements, strong disagreements with business coaches that I have used in the past that were really strongly urging me to be posting when my clients win because it was a marketing thing. And I was like, nope, it gives me the ick when I see other coaches do that. My coach specifically would say, do not ever thank me publicly. Which I don't say to my clients. Like, I really appreciate the shout outs. That's so kind. But I get it now, like why he felt that way. It's a lot more fun, honestly, for us to kind of fly under the radar and not be like, I don't know, getting all up in our girls' business when they're succeeding. Like, I want them to have their moments. I had mine. You had yours, Lila. Like, I
I
don't want
was
to be,
I was
yeah.
just going to say I don't want to be in the spotlight anymore. That's why I'm coaching.
Honestly, it's so true. And here we are hosting a podcast and I'm talking about like wanting to go out and do public speaking, but like I'm not interested in overshadowing anybody else's
Yeah.
success. Like own your successes, you
Well,
guys. You earned it.
and I think that feeds into you're not just another number. And I always worked best with the people that really emphasized that. I've only encountered a couple coaches in my days that have said that, but it is not a one size fit all. We have the fundamentals and the basics and the outlines of what we do coach and the programming of what we do want to implement. But at the same time, it's not a dance studio. It's not, you're not getting the exact same outline of, we're not saying the same things to everybody because you are so individualized. I remember like having, if I had two clients, one was going to be very different than the other. And I would not be saying the same things to one that I was saying with the other. And that's if I only had two clients, right? One and two. And so I really want to emphasize that too, is that I mean, go look at your other options, right? There are places where if you kind of want that, I don't know, dance studio feel, right? Like you're going into kind of like a class and you're getting told all the same things and you take with that what you will. Like, okay, cool. Like find what works best for you. For me, that never worked for me. I needed that individualized care and consulting, and that's really where I thrived. But again, find what works best for you. We're not going to work best for everybody. That is true. So we're not, we're providing that individualized coaching, but also find go do your research and find what works best for you and play around with the different styles of coaching too, because again, I found what worked best for me, and we want to work with the people that know that this is going to work best for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to also strongly urge you not to work with multiple coaches at the same time. Now,
Mm,
if you're working with an interview coach and a walking coach,
right.
and then maybe a wardrobe consultant, that makes sense to me. If you're working with a talent coach and you're working with a mindset coach, that makes sense to me too. But when you're literally working with two coaches that offer a lot of the same components to their program, like multiple coaches that do interview, multiple coaches that might do mindset, multiple coaches that do wardrobe, like you're just going to get a whole lot of mixed feedback. I have actually declined working with clients because they were working with someone else. And it wasn't like a competition thing for me. I'm like, I don't I'm not interested in the scarcity mindset of feeling like, well, gosh, like I'm just losing clients that way then. Like, no, I'm really not interested in that. I just know that I don't want to be the kind of coach that is going to say one thing after a different coach said a different thing and then add more confusion to it. Like, that's not healthy for your mindset either. So I'm not saying that I'm the only coach that works by any means. I know that I'm not. That would be ridiculous. I really support other coaching programs because it is one of the best decisions that I've ever made to make this my career is to coach full time. I've loved it so much and I would never want to like bash somebody else for doing what they love too. But truly, like I just want what is best for my clients. And I also don't want to be like pushing back against something another coach is saying. Now, have I undone some like really unhelpful things that cause more limiting beliefs from other coaches with clients? Yes, I have. And that's really sad. Like I've literally cried on calls with my clients because they've been told things that were really just harmful by other coaches or directors. And that's really painful for me, but that also reminds me of like what my values are and what the Fearlessly Authentic program values are, which, by the way, I have them up in front of me all the time at my desk. I look at them every day. It includes healthy mindset first, balance, no pushy sales, ugh, gross, compassion, character, growth mindset, solution focused, and no comparisons. And under that, it says create a space of continual growth, learning, and expansion. Those are my values in the Fearlessly Authentic program that encompass all of the work that I do. And that's how I approach every single call when I sit down at my computer.
I'm also thinking about the people that are thinking, like, what if I want a second opinion? What if I feel like I need another piece of advice or a different perspective? And I think that's why we're so adamant about growing too. And that's why we're so excited about me being a coach. But I think it's important to have people who have multiple people on their team because, yes, like that is the whole point. Maybe I do provide a different perspective with media and literacy and social media than Ray does. Or maybe Ray has a completely different perspective on mindset that might help you that I can't help you in. That is the point of why we're excited about adding multiple people to the team and guest coaching. And so, there are ways to find those different perspectives within the same programming if you're finding that programming that works for you. And so I my head went there. It's like, oh, well, what if I need a different perspective or a second opinion? Yeah, that's why we're really excited to provide that with multiple people. And you've had guest coaches on as well recently that have been really beneficial to the people that you've worked with. So we're going to just be full blown going into announcing all of that and providing that value as much as we can. We want to find, like you said, body image professionals that are able to talk about that. Because again, and this leads me back to my, we're referring to so many episodes, but this leads me back to my message to the pageant industry episode where I talked about leaders and good leaders knowing where they lack and where they are not professionals in and where they are not experts in and finding people instead to supplement those aspects that we are not professionals on. So that is our goal, and that is what our a lot of our planning is surrounded upon.
I'm a really, really big proponent of not being a hypocrite and practicing what I preach. I absolutely want to practice what I preach. So when it comes to the body image stuff, I had already said that I struggle with my own body image and some body dysmorphia issues. So body image is not really a thing that I coach on. It's something that I want to outsource and bring somebody else on because I don't feel confident in coaching my girls about it when I struggle with it. So I just want to point that out too, that when you talk about leadership and knowing what your strengths are and knowing where there are some gaps that need to be filled, I think that's a high value that I have as a human being in general as well too. Like I'm just not an expert on everything, nor do I want to be. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah, it is.
So, okay. So now that y'all know really a pretty good idea of who we are, what we do, why we do it, and what we don't do, how do you know if it's for you? Well, that's where you just have to reach out. And so we want to talk about, all right, how do you actually get started? How do you explore like what the chemistry might be between me and you or Lila and you? So we're going to talk about that now. And there's a couple of ways to do that. Super easy. Schedule a consultation. complimentary free consultation. It's about 30 minutes. There's some questions that you're going to be prompted with when you schedule that. You sign up, and it's just going to help us get a little bit of an overview of who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, why you're doing it, what your strengths are, where you think you have the most opportunity for growth, what your goals are, and how important those goals are for you. So the consult is really fun. It's lighthearted. It's not scary. Half the time I show up just like I am right now with no makeup and my hair in a messy bun, just trying to be real. So schedule a consult, DM us. If you've got questions, feel free to DM us. We will probably still encourage you to schedule a consultation. There's no pressure to sign up for the program after you have the consultation. None of that. Like I said, one of our values is no pushy sales. So just don't want you to be afraid of that. And
Our
then
our direct emails too are listed on every podcast page that you also listen to, all of our information, our socials and things like that. So you should be able to go directly from here to there. Just wanted to plug that.
okay, and finally, this is the other big announcement. I have been working for months now on launching something that makes it that much easier for you to gain immediate resources, access to support at your fingertips, and it is available in the App Store. You can just search Fearlessly Authentic. I have an app. What?
It's really cool. This is so exciting. There's a lot of
So,
components in this app that we don't have to run through all of it right now because hello, go and download it. It's a free download and like see what we have to offer. There's a lot of fun stuff in there.
free
But
download with free resources,
yes,
which is really great, like a free community resource. There's a free workshop in there for you. The podcast is in there so you can access it. I'm really trying to make it just such a approachable and valuable asset to your pageant prep that you're already doing.
and this is the new big announcement, the next big announcement. We came up with this idea because we started getting a lot of DMs and messages from you guys that were very specific messages about specific mindset glitches or communication questions that you had, like very niche coaching questions, really. And it was really difficult for us to give you everything that you needed in a text message. And we started to realize like we need a place where women can connect with us as if it were a DM or a specific question in a message, but it's not going to be the entire how do you say it, the commitment of like an entire 12-week coaching package, because like we get it sometimes, like we do want to be approachable, and this is the whole point of that. So we're offering live coaching. It is essentially a 15-20 minute, maybe 30-minute max of you get to hop on a call with us. We'll record it as if it were a podcast episode, and you can ask us questions, specifics that you have, things that have come up while you've been listening to our episodes, or maybe you have a specific competition coming up and you have this one specific question that you really need to ask somebody about. That is a free resource for you all. You can apply to be a part of that live coaching call. And then, since it's going to be recorded, it is going to be put somewhere. It is not going to be put out in the public like the rest of our podcast coaching episodes are, because that's just kind of weird and it's very niche. But it will be put in a podcast exclusives tab in the app. And there is a way for you to be able to access that. I'm going to turn it over to Ray, but
Yeah.
this is I'm really excited. Okay, Ray, go ahead.
Okay, kudos to Lila. This was her idea. We had been talking about like what more value can we provide through the podcast that we're not already providing, something that can be exclusive, something that, really serves a larger purpose. And so we're doing this Get Coached Live as a Sash and Soul exclusive opportunity for you all to receive so much more in-depth, almost coaching. But the thing is we know when you come to us with a mindset glitch or communication skills question or community service or social media or interview specific, when you're coming to us with that question, we know that we can multiply that by 100, that there are so many more out there that have the exact same questions. So you putting yourself out there to get coached live is going to offer so much benefit for everyone else in the pageant community. And we're so excited to be able to do that for you. So it's free to get coached live. This is not something you have to pay for. You apply in the app. You're going to answer some questions. Now, we are not going to be able to work with every single one of you. That's the unfortunate truth. So you want to be proactive in your application about being detailed about what it is that you're looking for, what your goals are, what your why is. We want to really get some more in depth from you. And we may reach out to get some more clarifying questions from you because this is important to us that we bring in really valuable context to these exclusive episodes, that you are receiving the most value that you can through getting coached live, and that the listeners through these exclusive episodes are going to get that value too. Plus, if you're chosen to be on the exclusive episode, you will also receive a discounted coaching package of your choosing. So we just wanted to offer even more for you for putting yourself out there and being a voice in being vulnerable and transparent about what your concerns are. Remember, you guys, this is Sash and Soul. We want to get real. We are not interested in surface level stuff at all. The depth and the growth and the expansion happens when we get real. So this is a really exciting opportunity. Kudos to Lila and her, journalism brain for thinking of this opportunity for all of you guys. How do you access the exclusive episodes in Sash and Soul? We are offering an all access membership within the app. And there's a lot more that you get with the all access membership aside from just the exclusives. There's a lot of really fun stuff in there, like coaching videos and guided meditations and daily guided pageant prep and things like that. That you'll be able to access through that all access membership too with a small monthly fee. So really, really excited about all these things that we are putting out there. We're just constantly our goal is to continue to just provide more resources, more value to you at different levels of whatever your budget allows for, whether that's free resources or more exclusive coaching with us. If you have a higher budget for that, like whatever you want to invest in yourself and are able to invest in yourself, we just want to offer those options. Because it is not one size fits all. And we want to approach you right where you're at. And that includes where you're at financially.
We just want to be here for you. I can't say it enough. Like, it makes me emotional thinking about it because we will be the ones to, I pour a lot of love into the women that I've met through this organization. And I'm not just saying my clients. Like, I really wanted to love on each and every one of the local contestants in the state, contestants that I've been able to meet throughout my journeys, throughout the years. Some of my best friends and some of my family friends have come out of the pageant industry, and just women in communication in general and organizations that I've worked with. And so, like, we really do just want to be here for you. And going back to this app too, is that we realize, like, there's kind of an off season for pageantry, or just like even business owners in general. But we still want to continue providing that value at different levels. So this idea, obviously, this is not just exclusive for the quote unquote off seasons, but this idea really stemmed from, like, okay, we're not going to be full blown one-on-one consulting, largest package year round, every year, all the time. So how can you it's like, I just think of like football players or athletes in the off season that are still working out and are still, keeping up with their game, but not necessarily going to practice every single day, if that makes sense. So hopefully that kind of puts into perspective the different levels that we have. And you can, again, like, we don't want to be drilling all of these packages and levels and things in this episode. You can go and look on the website and on social media for things like that. But we want, again, to be providing different levels of value depending on like where you are at in your year. Because to me, I never wanted to be so out of the loop where I felt like I had to restart something. And so again, this would have been really beneficial to me. And I know you keep hearing me say that, but like, God, if I was like that 17, 18-year-old that knew that I was going to compete soon, didn't really know what I was going to compete in, but just kind of wanted to stay in the loop and wanted to keep that itch going for myself because I loved, pouring more value into my communication skills or just keeping up with the world or whatever it was. like this would have been so cool for me. And I also think that my mom would have really seen the value in this too. So I'm like thinking of even the parents out there who might be thinking of how do I keep my kid involved or how do I keep my kid updated or just, still taking some sort of benefit or value, even though it's not this full blown coaching. Like think summer intensives at a dance studio, think off season athlete type deal, if that helps. Just wanted to add that in.
Right, absolutely. And I think ugh, you guys remember that mindset work is an ongoing process.
Mhm.
Self-development is an ongoing process. We want to continue this year-round opportunity through the Sash and Soul episodes, through the exclusives, through the all access membership, so that you continue to work on your mindset and continue building yourself up in those skills that are essential to your success. Mindset is not something that you can just fix in a few hours. It's just not possible. I promise you. I'm 34, been working on it my whole life, and I'm still working on it. So it's important to get started, and then it's even more important to be consistent and just stay with it.
I think that's it
Oh, for now, we could
for
keep
now.
going,
For
but
now.
we've exhausted our outline, and now we need to stop, unfortunately.
I was just so excited throughout this whole episode. I hope that it was clear and concise, but I also hope that my excitement does come through and that I'm just excited to start this new journey for myself. And I think we'll have more episodes later on that kind of fill you in on what life looks like for me right now. And, again, why I'm doing this. I think it's very clear why I love doing this. And it's very much the natural step for me. And we've gotten awesome feedback just in general on all of this. So we know that it is providing value. So, ah, that's that. I feel like my brain
Welcome.
is. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to Fearlessly Authentic, Lila.
Thanks.
I'm so excited to have you. For all of you, I hope you are also excited for some of the things that we talked about today, for the app as another free resource, for the opportunity to actually meet with us and have a complimentary consultation. And the whole goal with the consultation is to help you figure out where you might need to go from here and what would be the most beneficial thing for you, whether that is just continuing to do what you're doing because you're on a great path, or if it's, diving, you know, headfirst into a program that makes sense for you, whatever that is. So that those are kind of your two assignments, I guess, from me is to
Mhm.
consider, do you want to set up a free consultation or at least reach out to us via email or DM to find out more of what that looks like? And number two, go right ahead and download the free app, Fearlessly Authentic. We're going to have the link for iOS and Android in this episode overview too. So, yay.
Hey, take this as something that you can use to figure out where you might want specific help or what you might be missing. Again, we're just excited to provide value, whether or not it's one-on-one or through this podcast. You all know that. So it's just another step towards that. And we're so excited. I wish they could see our faces right now. Like we haven't really stopped cheesing. Like my cheeks kind of hurt.
No.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. My cheeks are feeling it too. But yeah, I don't think I've stopped smiling this entire time that we've been talking. It's good. I'm buzzing.
Yeah. Okay, so much more to come. We'll end it now because I think we could just sit here and smile and cheese and whatever for the next 24 hours. But we love you all. We really do. We're here for you and we want to be here for you in a way that's most beneficial to you. So reach out to
Yeah. And
us.
thank you for listening. I mean,
Mm.
this is episode 19. We're almost reached episode 20. We've had over 2,500 individual downloads of the podcast so far. So thank you for making this possible so that we can just continue to pour our heart and soul into the work that we do and what we provide for you every week. So thank you so much for your positive feedback. It really does fuel our hearts and our motivation and our drive to continue. So keep the feedback coming, keep the questions coming. Don't be afraid to reach out, and we will talk to you next week.
See you soon. See you somewhere else.
Bye, friends.
Bye. Hey everyone, we're so excited to provide a new and exclusive opportunity for our listeners. A live coaching opportunity with Rayanna and I here on Sash and Soul that is completely free to apply and participate. If you have a topic, question, or just need some advice, download the Fearlessly Authentic app and fill out the Get Coached Live application. If you're approved, we'll invite you to an exclusive podcast recording addressing your specific needs. This featured series in the Sash and Soul exclusives will be available only in the Fearlessly Authentic app. So be sure to download, apply, and find more information on our website and social media. We can't wait to chat with you.